Hello, and welcome to this ArcGIS Pro SDK demonstration, Fire Perimeter Tools. We're going to be demonstrating ArcGIS Pro workflows with ArcGIS Pro SDK capabilities. There's three main capabilities being demonstrated here. The first is the Geodatabase API and the use of the new Data Definition Language, or DDL, for geodatabase schema management. DDL is new at 2.8. and it's used for creation of a file geodatabase, a table, and additional attributes in this demonstration. Next is the map authoring API. You're going to see some SDK design in the formatting of a data clock chart and also a report. Finally, the map exploration API. You're going to see how it's possible to visualize selected fire perimeters by year with the display of the fire count in a map overlay control. All right, let's get started. Okay, so packaged with the demo dataset, you've got your add-in, which is perimetertools.esri add-inx, the file here, and the project package with the fire perimeter data, California Fires Perimeter. So we're going to install the add-in first. Double-click the Esri add-inx file. You'll see the dialog. Press Install Add-in. You should see the dialog box. Installation succeeded. Next, double-click the project package to open the project. And this will contain a set of fire perimeter data for the state of California. All right, the first thing you're going to want to do is use the bookmark here to zoom in and get a little closer to the data that we're going to be working with. I'm going to zoom into the greater Los Angeles area. And here you can note that we have feature blending applied. So we'll take a look at the layer appearance. You can see that we've got 40% transparency, normal layer blend, and the feature blend setting is color burn. We're now going to zoom into our bookmark that we're going to be working with here for the demo, and that's of the area of the Bobcat fire, which was fire from 2020. It was a very large fire. It was the second largest fire in LA County history to date. And we're going to first begin with creating a sample data set with the DDL capabilities of the Geodatabase API. So here on the Perimeters tab, this is the new tab that's been provided by the add-in that we just installed. So let's first identify the area of the Bobcat fire. Again, that's here, and it basically was in this area above Arcadia. Okay, I'm going to zoom in here in this other darker area, and I know that the Bobcat fire is just above the Monrovia area, so I'm just going to click in here, and you can see, yes, the Bobcat fire was one of the perimeters that was included in this exact spot. I clicked. And it's a pretty large fire, extended all the way through the mountains to the other side. Create a new selection set. And I'm going to just select here just to get all these fires here in this Monrovian area above Arcadia. All right, so I've got about 44 features selected here. That's a good size subset. We've definitely got our Bobcat fire included. I'm going to create the data set now. Click the button to start the routine. And the first thing it's going to do, it's going to prompt you for location to save this new file geodatabase that it's going to create. I'm going to put in Monrovia area. And it's going to save to this folder, this default folder here, wherever your project might be located. And you'll see a dialog that appears that shows the progress. It's making a copy of the source fire perimeters layer, feature class. It's creating a relationship class, and after that's made the standalone table. So it's using DDL for all of this. And now it's opening up a new map called Perimeter Subset Map. I'm just going to quickly choose the fire name and Bobcat, apply that. There's our selection. Let's come over to the attributes. There's our Bobcat fire. And now if we click through, there's the relationship class that we created during that process with this new data set. We're going to come down here to add new relationship, and it's going to create a new record in the standalone table, which is, by the way, it's here in the contents pane. It's perimeter inspection. By default, it's going to apply a global ID and an object ID. It's got the key back to the perimeter subset layer. So we've got that relationship. We're going to set the inspection date. Just for this case, I'm just going to choose an inspection date that was earlier, so I can go and review that process just in case coming through. Just hypothetically here, we started this on the 7th. This was a brand new inspection, and inspection, collecting records, something along those lines. Okay, that's our first record. Okay, so let's explore the data further. We're now going to use a custom tool to create a chart and a report for the perimeter subset. Come over here to the Create Chart button and use this tool. We're going to press it, and you get a dialog that shows you that the process is working. There's our new chart. It's the data clock icon. I can come over here and open that. And it might open below the map view. There's the chart properties pane on the right hand side. I'm going to bring this over to the middle so that we can better look at the data. And you can see using the color scheme here we do have a number of fires that are showing up in from yellow to red based upon the fire size and the number of acres. These are actually acres that are being shown. I'm going to come over here to the format and choose the light theme here. Let's come over here to the catalog pane. You can see in the reports folder, there is our fire perimeter report, which we created with the reports API. And let's take a look at this. So here's our report. We'll just take a quick look. We can see that we've got just a few fields that we've included in this just to make it pretty simple to read. The alarm date, the date that the actual fire started was reported, the number of acres, the fire name, and the cause. So we're just going to run this report very simply, just quickly here based on a few years, because it does take a little bit of time to export by year. So we're just going to select a few years here, and based on these wedges here for this number of years, export the report. So when I have the report open, if we come back to the Perimeters tab, we can see that the Export Report button has been activated. That's a little bit of a, again, the way that Pro works, it's going to activate that tool when you're in the right context. So let's click Export Report. You can see that the pane opens. We're just going to go with the defaults here, and we're going to export that PDF. We had already exported one, so we're just going to go with the default. And let's just take a look at the fire perimeters that we selected in the chart. Okay, here's the report. And you can see there's the 2020 Bobcat fire there. You can see as we zoom in a little bit here, get clearly the number of acres, fire name, and cause, and kind kind of just show you really quickly how you can get a nice summary report for the areas that you're interested in. Let's create a chart and report for the actual source data. So this is the full data set, so over 20,000 features. We're just going to quickly create a chart and a report for this whole data set. We'll make sure that we've cleared the selection here. Create the chart. Let's take a look at the chart first. Just double click that. And just as we did before, we'll come over here, format, apply the light theme. And you can see for the whole state of California, this data clock. And you can see that some of the trends here showing that fires in recent years are starting earlier, February, March, especially May, and also running later consistently here in November, it seems. Fires are getting more intense, as we all know, and especially through the summer months. Let's just do a quick selection here on August. And we'll just select a few wedges, a few years here in August. And then we'll come back here to catalog. There's our second report. It will tackle one at the end because we already have a report showing up. Let's open that and export that report and take a look at the contents here for the full state of California. And here's our PDF. Increase the size of that. And here's the first page. It's 2020. Right from the first day, August 1st, we have 4 fires that are showing up here. All right, so that's how you can use the SDK to make charts and reports, help you better summarize and understand your data. Let's come back here to the perimeter subset. Okay, so in this last section, we're going to set the time properties on the subset layer and use the interactive time slider to examine the distribution of the perimeters over time. Then you're going to use the custom view by year tool to examine the data using selections and the map overlay control, which provides a slight dashboard experience as it presents the data by year. Okay, so the last exercise we're going to do as part of the demonstration is to use the View by Year tool. And this tool allows you to visualize a subset or all of the selected perimeters by year with a display of the fire count in the map overlay control. So this provides a sort of alternate review of the spatial distribution and progression by year when compared with the slider. So the map overlay control is going to show up in the top left-hand corner of the map. It sort of overlaps the slider, so we're going to remove the slider. So you want to come back to your layer properties, go to the time tab, set the layer time back to no time. Click OK. So the slider should disappear. And now you've got all the features back and visible. So you want to make sure that there is no features selected at this time, and click and activate the perimeter subset layer. Now click the View by Year button, and it's going to zoom out to the extent of the layer, and you can see now that it's showing you the map overlay control. And in the control, you see the fire year for the current selection. You'll see some of the selections are changing here. The fill is yellow and the outline is blue. And it's going to give you the count for that year. number of fires that were for that specific year, and the number of years remaining. So this is running asynchronously via the Pro SDK. And so we can do things like go back to the map tab and go to bookmarks. We can change our base map. Let's change this over here to imagery. We can zoom in on an area of interest. Go back to that Monrovia area. See as the years are changing. You could also float the map and maximize it in your screen and work with it that way. So this just provides another view of the data, show you some of the capabilities of the SDK to create a slight dashboard experience for review of some of the data in these years for a given extent. Finally, thank you very much for trying the demonstration and your interest.